Well, I'm an idiot. Welcome back to the Mike to the Stripe podcast, albeit with a really bad camera today. I think I was doing an interview yesterday or something, or just chilling on a call with my camera, and I forgot to charge my camera battery, so we had to resort to this very poor quality webcam. My name is Gabe Killian. I am here with...
Seth Noble.
Oh yeah, we are back for the third episode of the Mike Death the Stripe podcast. We are surviving. And I'm really glad that we're able to keep this going.
Yeah, I do want to point out before we start here, obviously my attire is a little bit different this week. Not wearing the Terry Haddock shirt, that's the first.
Yeah, I mean, hey, 2 episodes in a row.
I mean, hey, I didn't even plan that. That's the crazy part. No hat this week. We're letting the hair flow. Interesting decision, but we're rocking with it. I do have a hat on standby that I thought about wearing. We also, bigger change, glasses. We're wearing the glasses week. I don't know. Just kind of thought maybe it was a better decision.
Yeah.
We're rocking with it. We're gonna roll, see how it looks.
I got a sweatshirt
Changing the
on.
background a little bit, but
I didn't even notice. I'm not going to lie. I got my Killian Motorsports sweatshirt on, which, if you guys are familiar with Killian Motorsports, aka me, we kind of had these going for a little bit of while. I think I'm going to remake them at some point. The only issue is I can't really show it because I have probably the world's worst camera of Kingdom Come right now. So we got a lot to get into. First off, we have a new segment, which I'm so glad we get to debut. Seth completely came up with this, and I saw it in the notes. I'm like, let's roll with it. I want to try it. Seth, why don't you introduce this?
So the new segment that I think I kind of took a little bit of inspiration. I'm not sure if any of you have seen the Kelsey Brothers podcast, New Heights. I took a little bit of inspiration from them. They do a segment always first thing each podcast episode was new news. So I kind of took a little inspiration, and we're going to be doing the weekend rewind. We're going to try it out at least this week and see if it sticks.
Why are you getting twang? Why are you getting Southern twang? That's my thing.
I don't know. To be fair, one of my 2 race directors, now there's only one. It is now Brian, and Brian alone at New England Dragway. Shout out, by the way. Rhett Gardner, race director, now has a family, so he's kind of stepping away, at least for now. Maybe in the future he'll come back. Or at least he still visits from time to time. Anyway, maybe that's kind of part of it, because I've been around him so much.
Maybe.
That is a couple of years.
Maybe.
So,
alrighty. 75. NHRA turns 75 years old this Friday. I believe that would have been the first national event. Or actually, no, this would have been when Wally Parks signed with the committee in the hotel room. So happy birthday, NHRA. Congratulations on turning 75 years old. Definitely hoping we can make it the next 75. It might be tough. We're going to be, like 89? It's going to be hard to make it. It's going to be hard to make it.
This is the 75th year. I'm currently 18, so I'd be 93.
Oh no, yeah, we're gonna need some miracles and maybe some advancements in technology for us to make it. But yeah, happy birthday, NHRA. Going into a foot brake 150 at Gulfport. I got to watch some of it, and then I got scheduled back into work. Go figure. So I wasn't able to watch it. Seth, were you watching a little bit more?
I watched a little bit. To be honest, I watched a little bit. And by the little bit, I mean I watched the 16-car shootout final because Jake Clayton was in it. Because it was brought up in RBRA, so I kind of just watched.
Do you still hang out in that server? I haven't seen you around that much.
Oh, a little bit. I kind of peek through when I wanna.
When you wanna. Yeah. So the Friday 3K, which I did not meet, I believe that was the No Guts, No Glory shootout, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Jeff White won over Cameron Kaiser, which that was a really tough matchup. I saw some names that I haven't seen in a while. And they were just killer. Lucas Gray is one of the names I saw. Colby Walker. I did not know if Lucas got into that or not, or Lucas Walker got into that or not. However,
if anything, Lucas was kind of the main star of it. To be
Yeah, if
quite honest with
anything,
you.
yeah, Lucas Walker is one of the best foot breakers out there. Period. Nasty Nick Hastings, that's a name I haven't seen in a while, and I kind of expected him to be there, but I think he's kind of taken a step back.
Well, I don't know for sure, but I mean
Hmm.
to be fair, it is a haul from Ohio to Florida,
You know,
or excuse me,
Gulfport, Mississippi.
Florida.
So yeah, I mean that is fair, but I mean Nick is no stranger to travel.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, going
So
to Vegas and some of the races out there. Speaking of races out
yeah,
at West, the Tucson Shootout, 2 weeks. There's a bunch of people going there. I think there's already a Calcutta out for that race. So hoping to watch that. I got a couple of my buddies going down there, so it's going to be fun to watch. Going on to Saturday, John Burleson looks like gets it done over Jake Clayton and Old Red. Jake Clayton he's been running with the Overkill guys as of late. So with the Williams guys, T Rock and Donovan, and all the guys over there in the FTI on-site crew and the Overkill Motorsports crew. So that was really cool to see him running a truck. Period, really, but running something that he usually doesn't.
yeah. I mean, he was down there for a couple of weeks. I know Paul Staubel was down there as well. There was
I
obviously
think,
the Overkill crew.
I think
There was
Paul
a
was
lot of
down there
people
for.
that
I think Paul was down there for 3 weeks or something.
yeah, 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah, they were down there for a while. They're having a good time. But actually, I do have a correction. I said like 2 minutes ago that the 3K shootout or the 3K warm up was no guts, no glory shootout. It's actually the 16 car shootout. That was no guts, no glory. I
Oh,
keep messing
really?
up here. Yeah, I did. I kind of didn't understand quite what you were saying
Ah,
because my
okay.
brain was just moving at 1 mile per hour. So
Hey, it's been
yeah,
that type of day. I'll be honest.
yeah,
But I mean, hey, that was. I mean, that happens. Going on to Saturday 25 or the Saturday main event, Jared Franklin gets it done over Lucas Walker. Lucas in Cool Whip, which I thought he was going to at least steal the kid's ride or hop in Lockhart's ride, hop in another one of his Mustangs. No, takes Cool Whip out and whips it, literally. Did I wonder? So he's been running Cool Whip a lot. Is he thinking about? Is that a hired ride? Do you know anything about that?
I don't.
Okay.
I was very shocked when I saw that in the Winner Circle picks compared to I thought maybe it'd be one of the Mustangs or Lockhart's truck, and
No,
when I checked it, I was surprised as you were
he's been
to
running
see
Cool
Cool
Whip
Whip
a
in that.
lot lately, though. So it's really interesting to see him running that car. Speaking of Lucas Walker, Sunday, 25 grand to win. Guess who gets it? Lucas Walker gets it done over Tebow. Tebow, hello. Tyler
Yeah.
Bohannon. Did he bring out the stalker?
I don't believe so. I believe it was a Nova that I saw in the pictures.
Oh, okay. I
I
didn't
want to
know.
say.
I didn't. Yeah, Tebow. I didn't. Old foot brake guy coming back. That's real good to see. So Lucas Walker gets it done over Tebow. Tyler Bohannon, of course, one half of the TB promotions. It is not just Bohannon himself. It is actually Brian Whitworth, the other half. Speaking of, there's a car for sale from Brian Whitworth. Go buy it. Yeah, I think it's still available anyway. Yeah, Tebow made the haul down there and apparently hopped in a foot brake car and said, "Let's roll," and he rolled.
Yeah, but you gotta think, right? Tyler Bohannon, I'm not sure how much he had been in that car over the weekend, but he's just kind of a guy who could like really hop into anything and just
just go,
dominate,
just go.
just compete no matter what.
Yeah. There's a few of them that I know can hop in anything and go. Nick Hastings, one of them. Tebow, like we said. There's a couple of the names that are just blanking on my mind right now, but they can hop in
Kevin
it.
Brannon.
Yeah, Kevin Brandon. Just hop in a random car and be like, all right, I'm going to the split round now. So,
Hops in Dylan Howe's car for one weekend and wins a milli. Yeah,
yeah,
that's just
yeah, nothing. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, going to the Baby Gators. Looks like McKenna Bold gets it done over James Stevens. Of course, McKenna Bold taking over the Randy Meyer ride as of, I believe she started last year and kind of took that into this year. McKenna Bold's been making moves. kind of like us, where we're bracket racers at heart. She is as well. Other names like Dallas Glenn, some other pro stock or even Top Fuel, Sean Langdon, Spencer Massey, just names that hop in or are bracket racers at heart and hop in these rides and do well. McKenna Bold we just saw as such, and McKenna Bold, she's definitely going to go places after the Baby Gators for sure.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you're a talented young driver in a obviously very competitive car, very competitive car. I mean, any Randy Meyer car is going to be on kill. So if you put a driver with pretty good skill in a pretty good car, it's only going to have pretty good chemistry to build race wins and championships at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you should never count out any Randy Meyer car.
Never.
I think that's just a rule of thumb.
Yeah, never. Randy Meyer's been in alcohol, or top alcohol rather, for many, many years. So if you count him, if you don't think with a shadow of a doubt, if you don't even think he's going to be there just a smidgen, you better rethink your decisions. It's kind of what we're saying, It's that rule of thumb where there's this team that's been here for so long and it's put so much work to be at the top of the sport, and they're as such. So you kind of have to be in that mindset of, hey, if you're running that class, we got to remember that there's a heavy hitter here, and we got to step up our game pretty much, is at least what I would personally do. Coming from someone who's never ran faster than 540, even in the 8th mile. As Seth tries to laugh.
The quickest thing I've been in was a junior. So I mean,
hey, that's gonna change here this summer though.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
If I come up to New England, can I run the dragster, please?
If you pay for a plane ticket and a hotel, I will let you run.
I'll just drive up there in my Tahoe. If
you do that, I'll let you run a points race. I will sign you up for points.
run ET finals out west or out east rather. That'd be fun. Alrighty, going back to our profession. Sean Bellemere gets it done over Phil Ez it looks like the note that you put in here, Seth, 540 to a 543. So it was a close race. And Sean Bellemere and the Killer Bees, I thought they were going to be there's a lot of names that have been really quick with them this year. Mick Steele stole their number one qualifier at the Gator Nats, which we were talking about last week, where it's like, where did he come from? Hello? So to see Bellemere and kind of, I mean, yeah, sure, they're still with the rest of the field, but I mean, last year it was like by tenths. So I don't know if this is new car jitters or if the other teams also found something in their cars. But either way, it's going to be a competitive season as it looks right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, Bellemere comes out to 2 races at Gainesville, wins both of them. I mean, the domination's still there nonetheless, but the competition's making it look very, very close. And honestly, when we looked back to the Gators and we checked and we saw Mick Steele stole their one qualifier spot in this final session alongside Bellemere, it was like, oh, like maybe it wasn't as like a sure thing that he was gonna win that race. It's kind of just like it's kind of always been, for the past couple of years that if you see Sean Bellemere on the entry list, he's gonna probably be at minimum final round, and always like top 3 in qualifying at least. It was kind of like it's kind of like John Force in the 90s. He's always gonna be at the top,
exactly,
no matter what.
Yeah, and the Killer Bees are going to find their footing at some point this season, I hope, and go back to what they were doing last year, and as they have the past few years. But I'm shocked at the start of the season, especially at the Gator Nationals. Again, Gainesville also. Dominant. I mean, yeah, it's still dominant, but I was expecting a little bit more. No, I'm kidding. I'm assuming Gainesville is also one of the treacherous tracks due to Florida weather. You're just chilling and all of a sudden, oh, hey, it's raining and it's a clear sky. What happened? Like, you'll just have those times. Comp, Roger Brogdon gets it done over Steve Johnson. Roger Brogdon, of course, being a member of Comp Eliminator for several years. I believe he's run a pro stock a time or two. So Roger Brogdon, back into the mix of things. Good to see him back.
Yeah, he was racing the Roadster this weekend. He was in a 34 Roadster.
Yeah, I think he's had that car for. I think he's had that car for a little while now.
Yeah, I believe so.
But yeah, good to see him back and figuring out that program. Now, Comp Eliminator, there's one name. I just want to throw this out here because why not? That you fear if you are entering Comp Eliminator. It's just some certain cobalt. With a little bit of spool in it. One Bruno Massel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I need to say more.
No.
Yeah. Bruno Massel.
That's probably.
Yeah, Bruno Massel and that Cobalt and the Dragster too. And he's already, and he just goes. He just goes. So Bruno is one of the cars where if he shows up to an event and you're one to dip into a money pot, yeah, pick him. But yeah, of course, Bruno, one of us, where he races and does media / announcing / whatever. Of course, he was part of Garage Squad for a couple of years and kind of took a step back. It was really cool to see for sure. Going into Super Stock, Don Shuford over David Barton. Did you watch that final? Because again, I was at work. I couldn't watch anything.
I didn't happen to.
Gotcha.
But I mean,
I also don't think it was live.
I did happen. I'm not sure. It probably was, if I had to assume.
Maybe, yeah.
I would imagine it was probably live.
Yeah,
we look back.
Yeah, it just shows how much we were paying attention this weekend. However,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that
lives.
We're both.
Yeah, this is not our full-time gig. This is we're bored. Let's do this. Going on to Stock Eliminator, I believe. Doug Lambrecht beats over Jeff Atkinson. And now Jeff, that's a name I hear a lot in the stock world. And Doug Lambrecht is another name that I've heard at least a little bit. And that must have been a killer round, especially for those two. And I know they didn't leave anything on the table. And I'm really disappointed I did not get to see this one. Now, I did get to see this Super Comp final. Vance Houston, who we know also is a member of the RBRA stuff, I believe got his first Wally, and I believe this was his first Super Comp race too. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But Vance Houston beats Johnny LaBoose. Dead 2 versus Dead 8. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vance Houston, our boy Valspring. Just you just face Johnny LaBoose, just Johnny going Dead 2 to his Dead 8. It ain't nothing. That must have been a killer round. I really wish I got to watch that. Super Guest, Jim Perry won over Tim Powell, as Powell did go red. Super Street, Keith Mayers, the Alfa Romeo, or was it? It would have been his Porsche. It would have been. Yeah, the Alfa Romeo is the Super Gas ride. Keith Mayers in the Porsche beats Brendan George. Mayers being Mayers went dead on versus Brennan going under. Top sportsman Carl Freeman over Tom Patterson. Now Patterson was in the Patterson Elite Red Machine, and they have a couple over there in the Patterson Elite crowd. With Keith, or I should say Carl Freeman. That's another name that we hear, or at least the last name we hear a lot. I do not know if that is related to the one Freeman that also happens to have a stake in the other company of Patterson Elite, which is Elite.
I don't think so.
I didn't know if there was any relation to Richard or not, but tell you what, I do really wish I watched these. Going into
I
the top
I do want
dragster.
to point out. I do want to point out for Carl Freeman in
Yep.
an 04 Cavalier that runs 890s in Top Sportsman.
Hang on. 8.90.
Yeah. To be fair, it may have been like he saw Patterson go red and he left it off. That could be it. That's probably
Chances are that, I mean, because I think the cutoff is like 750 or something. So that would
890
have
at
shocked me.
112. Yeah, it makes no
Yeah,
sense.
no, he lifted there. So,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, congratulations, Carl Freeman. Top dragster, James Brown over Clint Riley. Going into juniors from the advanced group, 13 to 17. Avery Boulding over Lincoln McMaster. Lincoln did unfortunately turn the red bulb on. The intermediate class, which is 10 to 12, Bo Smith over Hutch Hager. And then 6 to 9, which is the novice category, if you will, Addison Williams falls to Rhett Smith. That is a name, Rhett Smith. That he's going somewhere. He don't get me wrong. He already sounds like he has at least 3 titles to his belt. Just with the first name Rhett.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe. I mean, there's no pictures of the car here. Unfortunately, there's no state for Bo, but
Gotcha.
maybe they're brothers.
Maybe
Bo and Rhett.
Bo and Rhett. I didn't even notice that. Thanks, bro. I didn't even notice that. Hello, I suck at my job. I'm kidding. Going into the Snyder Sportsman Classic, I didn't even know this was happening. Where did you find this information at for this Sportsman Classic?
So I did know it was going on. I actually have listened in for a while. If I remember correctly, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on in the comments, but I do believe it was Alan Reinhart on the mic. Matter of fact, yes, I remember the Twitter now X post of him being like, "This is my office for the next few days." So Alan Reinhart, of course, former NHRA
now
national event
IHRA
announcer.
Now IHRA.
Yes.
Was this at Benson?
This race was in Pomona. This is why
this was you know, yeah, because they also
Snyder
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember this because I believe they had this live streamed on .tv over the weekend.
Yes.
Going into competition eliminator, Ryan Pretty over Joe Maziris. Apologize if I butchered your last name. I'm so sorry. Justin Lamb over Evan Kowalski. Evan tried to cut the tree down against the world champ. Just a little bit. Do you know how red he was?
I did not. I will say, before we move on here, this weekend was dominated in Pomona. This weekend was dominated by heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Like, you look through the entire list, and there's like every round has a heavy hitter pretty much.
Yeah, especially one class. We're gonna get into that later. I'll touch on why I just had that reaction. Justin Lamb over Evan Kowalski. Justin Lamb, of course, the world champ in I believe that would have been the Rad Torque Systems Camaro.
Yes.
Yeah, that car knows what it's doing. Justin Lamb, of course, being a part of This Is Bracket Racing Elite. And I mean, Justin's just been killer his whole career. I think he's also one of the other guys that you just put him in a car, he's like, okay, I win now. Justin Lamb's good at what he does. Cody Lane over Nanette Stein in stock. Yes. Nanette did go red. Super Comp, Tanner Theobald. Is any relation to Parker?
I believe so.
Okay, that good to know. So Tanner Theobald over Chris Forsyth. Super Gas, Brad Pierce over Forsyth. What, sorry?
Forsyth.
Okay, thank you. Again, I'm not from there. You can give me Minnesota names and I'll pronounce them perfect. You give me names from anywhere else in the country and I'll butcher them horribly. It's weird. I don't get it. Continuing on, Brad Pierce over Eric Rise in Super Gas, 896 to an 880. I believe Eric Rise would have done broke out at that point.
Rather, it was a 989.6 to a
989.6. Oh, okay. So double breakout. My mistake. The way you did that
No,
was
I laid that out a little bit weird.
yeah. You forgot the decimal point there, bud. Super Street, David Meyer over Dale Taros. Another double breakout, 10.89.5 to 10.88.7. So some close races there. Not much we're really separating them. Maybe I believe that's 16 in the first round or in Super Gas, and quick math 7 separating them in Super Street. So not those are close races. Granted, he didn't put the reaction time, so I don't got total packages. But what do you do?
I will say this: this is if there's one thing I want to critique NHRA on, please add reaction times to like the news results things. That's the only result they have for divisional stuff, for regional stuff, and I would love to put more information there, but it's just not on there.
Yeah, well.
So if the NHRA could add those, I would send thank you letters day and night.
Yeah,
thank you.
I do the same thing. Going into top sportsman, Jeff Gillette over Joe Stannard, and this is the one that I reacted so weird. Cooper $1 Million Baby Chun gets it done over Damon Bustamante. Of course, Cooper Chun, winner of the Spring Fling Million last year, our baby boy, getting it done. Cooper is amazing. We love you, bud. Had some troubles early in his life, and by grace of God and a miracle and a half, came back. And I believe he has been cancer free for a while now, and comes back racing and just dominates. Wins $1 million, wins some other big money stuff, dang near wins a world championship, then comes out and wins Top Dragster. Also, speaking of, why do you run Top Dragster? I thought he was going to run Super Comp. Well,
I mean,
now I know.
Who knows? Obviously, worked out for him.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it worked out for him, and he got a 75th anniversary Diamond/Platinum Wally. I believe it's Diamond Wally we're calling him. Mm-hmm. And then Sportsman Motorcycle, Clayton Howie. Yes, that Clayton Howie, which, okay, I did not know he ran Sportsman Motorcycle, but now I know. Gets it done over Jeremy Bates. So Clayton, remind me what else Clayton Howie runs?
He actually ran the Gator Nationals in Pro Stock Motorcycle literally last weekend.
That makes more sense. I was going to say, I thought he ran something with 4 wheels, and it's like, okay, that's random. But Pro Stock Motorcycle makes just a little bit more sense. But yeah, Clayton Howie gets it done over Jeremy Bates and gets himself a Diamond Wally. So, hey.
Yeah, goes to semi Gators and then goes back to the West Coast and wins in Sportsman Motorcycle. Like, come on.
Come on, man. All right, we got to continue because we got a lot of things to still go through. And we're trying to get this done in a fashionable amount of time, and our picks, we're hoping, doesn't take another hour because that's really annoying. Going to the Factory Motor Parts, NHRA Arizona Nationals. Or the FMP Nationals, as we're going to call them. The first Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge of the season does happen this weekend due to there being winners and runner-ups. Let's go. And, yeah, the fields are still stacked. Of course, Antron Brown versus Josh Hart. Josh Hart being the reigning event winner. And then Matty Gordon versus Doug Coletta. Doug Coletta was the runner-up. Funny Car, Chad Green and Jordan Vandergriff versus J.R. Todd and Alexis DeJoria. So 2 JFR cars going to be doing battle maybe in the final round. Yeah. And hopefully Jordan can figure out what to do with his hands. Continuing on to Pro Stock, Greg Anderson and Erica Enders. Oh, great. That's a battle we haven't seen 30 times. That's going to be a good battle. Versus Bracket Racer Dallas Glenn and Matt Hartford. Anyone got a coin that I can toss and just guess? There is no Pro Stock Motorcycle in Arizona this weekend. Of course, last year, Paul Lee won this race last year?
Yes.
Really?
So to refresh your memory, the winners from the Phoenix race last season were Sean Langdon, Paul Lee, and Greg Anderson, because once again, no PSM last year either. But yes, Paul Lee, actually early last year, and I'm not sure how long it was, but he was like up in the points for a long while last season. Like he was a
He was getting
championship
close.
contender
Yeah.
at
Him
a
and
certain part
Lindbergh
of the
were a
season.
great team for sure. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that works out. Now the temperatures are hot, very, very high. I do like what you put in here, but for our sake, we probably shouldn't mention that. But what he said is true. It's really, really hot. And of course, it being Arizona, there ain't no humidity. It's just straight
Yeah.
heat. And
Matter of
looking,
fact, they
go ahead.
changed the time for the qualifying sessions
They
and
did,
the race day sessions. So,
but what
because
really
it's so
shocked,
dang hot.
yeah, but what really shocked me is why. I mean, people do want a night race, and I think, I mean, hey, that's a really good idea. But I also think, kind of like Bahrain Raceway or Bahrain and the F1's side of things, race at night because it's way too hot to do it in the daytime. And people want a night race. This would be a really good time to do that. However, I also understand they want to get it done. So I also understand getting it done during the day. And also,
Yeah,
Arizona has lights, I think, if I remember right.
I think they do.
I think they do. We'll have to look back at that. Legends looking at for this week. Don Ferdome is going to be back. Johnny West, Joe Lundberg, and possibly other legends. There are no others listed at this exact moment, or as of yesterday when we wrote the script. They will be in the booth during qualifying. And I do really like what you also put right after that. Comeback on the way? Maybe?
Yeah. To go back to the previous thing right there with the Perdome, West, and Lundberg, uh, obviously on the website, I looked at it yesterday, or it would have actually been Wednesday night when I did this at like
To
2 a.m. because I was bored. Uh, at the moment, there was no other legends listed, but you never know who
you
could
never
pop
know.
in the booth.
Yeah.
Uh, I do believe there was gonna be a Reinhardt appearance, but that obviously didn't, happen
Yeah.
to line up correctly. So now
Yeah.
it is not happening. I mean, we're not gonna speculate anything, but I mean, I think it's quite obvious why. It's because he's busy in North Carolina. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but you never know who could pop in there.
No.
Obviously at the moment, as I said before, no one's listed. But I mean, it would not shock me if someone happens to show up. So it'll be kind of interesting to see, the legends that hop in the booth throughout the season. I know, obviously, the Gator Nats started with a bang with Fry and Amato. I mean, you don't get much better than those
No,
guys.
never. Those are really, really caliber people. So I'm really excited to see who we bring in for the rest of the season too. I don't know who we're gonna find for Brainerd, but we'll find somebody. Continuing on, Proc comeback on the way. I honestly think we might see that. Seth, I'd like your input a little bit more. Why do you think
Yeah.
so?
I do think I will say there is people have been criticizing Austin Prock's comments about Gainesville, in the top end interview after, he didn't make the field. He did blame the track, which I personally don't think was a great decision for him to make.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, when you have, kind of tricky conditions, I mean, honestly, no matter what conditions you're in, they're tricky. Making a funny car go down the track at any point in time is like it's difficult no matter what. So I mean, you can't really blame the track for that. It's just you flat out couldn't get down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's been very rare examples in history of, you think of like WJ, I believe it was Pennsylvania, where he talks about the track. But I'll tell you, as someone who's experienced it firsthand and has actually walked on a national event track before a little bit, especially at my home track, New England Dragway, we prep every single weekend really well. And the NHRA does the same. It's prepped very well. It's a very, very, very great track to run on, no matter where you are. So I think he may have been in the wrong for saying that, but of course, you can't always can't always say the right things at the right time, when
Hmm.
especially when emotions are running high.
Exactly.
But I mean, he did say one phrase during that I happen to think is kind of be kind of their mindset for the next few weeks is, his back when you know his dad came back to JFR after not being there for a while, or it may have either been not being there for a while, or it was the first time he came over. Was the first race they struggled, and then the next few races they dominated. So I mean, you never know what could
Drop the
happen.
hammer.
And I do think that obviously Austin, obviously by the interview, is upset. I'm
Hmm.
sure Bob Tasca, the owner, is probably upset. I mean,
Hmm.
the whole crew is just upset because two back-to-back championships with the Procs, so you expect to come out there, great combination. A car that's been capable of being a championship contender in the past. You would think we're gonna come out there, we're gonna dominate, we're gonna come out to Gainesville, guns a blazing, and we're gonna put on a good show and try and win this sucker. And when you can't even qualify, it's very aggravating.
Hmm.
So I understand, that they're gonna be upset heading in these next few weeks, and they're gonna take that out on opponents. They're gonna go into Phoenix. They're gonna, you know, put their heads down and go back to work. That's really all they can do is just let it go. Kind of let it go. Don't let it bother them, but also like use it a little bit as like fuel to try and turn this season the way it should be for them.
Exactly. Langdon, back-to-back Arizona event wins to bounce back from an early exit. Um, can you elaborate on that? I apparently am not. I don't remember this from last year. I don't remember this at all.
Absolutely.
Oh,
So
oh,
Sean
oh,
Langdon
oh,
did
oh.
win.
You're talking
Sean Langdon
about,
did win Arizona last year,
yeah. Oh,
and
but you're
he
talking
had an
about,
early exit at Gainesville.
yeah. I figured that out halfway, like halfway. I'm like, oh wait, hang on. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's my water sucks. Does not have caffeine in it. I do not have their mushroom
yeah,
coffee. Except thank you, Eric Mann, for giving me or letting me try your product through Brendan Nuthall or Nuttall rather. Malibu Breeze is tasting really good. Do the rookies in Vandergriff and Matty Gordon keep the momentum rolling like they did, or keep them rolling like a desert tumbleweed? I love the way you worded that, Seth. I honestly think they will. Maddie Gordon, of course, in the Too Fast Too Tasty challenge, well has a chance to win. Of course, she also made a stop with the High Limit crew at Phoenix, and my buddy Tanner Holmes as well. Which, Tanner, if you're watching this, first off, thank you. Second off, respond to my texts. Tanner is, I've been talking to him forever and saying, hey, you should, like, maybe you should try drag racing, come out to an event. Yeah, I think you like it. I'm so glad that the High Limit Series kind of partnered with NHRA and gave these sprint car drivers like Tyler Courtney, like I said, Tanner Holmes, and some of the bigger names in sprint car racing and dirt track in general, and giving them the opportunity to drive a street car down a drag strip. And Tanner Holmes knows how to burn down some tires, apparently. I watched their video and it's like, dang, dude, I'm proud of you. So, hey, he got to come to my sport. Hopefully, I can go see Tanner in person at Gondola Speedway come June 3rd. But, I mean, with the rookies being able to, or a lot of the drivers actually being able to kind of coach these drivers, I believe Austin Prock was another one of the drivers. I believe Jordan Vandergriff was another one as well. A bunch of names were able to do that. So I really think they're going to go places for sure.
yeah. I think that was a really fun event for them to do. I know normally like a lot of times there's like on like Wednesday, like early in the week for national events, they'll do some fun stuff at some tracks, some not, just because it's just how it works out sometimes.
Yeah,
But
Brainerd,
I
it's
mean, it's always kind
usually zoo festivities start beginning.
of yeah. So I mean, I always like when it's early on in the week of a national event week, you see something fun pop up on social media of like partnering with this company, with that company, with this, you know, other racing organizations like high, like you said, when you have those kind of things come in and have some fun, and it does help both sports a little bit to
Hmm.
both sides. We get promoted to theirs, they get promoted to ours, and it kind of just like it's kind of just a it's a fun time to just kind of take two sides of the racing world and just hash them together.
Exactly. There's one more thing I want to note before we go into our picks finally. And we got a lot of them to do. There's a lot of points on the line this weekend. Where's alcohol at? Is it too hot? Where'd they go? They're not even on the entry list.
I kind of wondered that myself. I feel like this is like one of the national events. I mean, you have Pro Mod there. You don't have PSM, so it's like,
yeah.
I feel like you could fit them in.
And there's not that many sportsman classes either. I noticed a lack in, I believe, almost every sportsman category. There was like nothing, and they didn't offer any of the alcohol. I don't think I saw any of the. I don't even think I saw Top Dragster or Top Dragster and Top Sportsman as well. Seth is going to double check me right now. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked, but also in this heat, I don't blame them. I know it gets hot up here. It is not fun racing in 100-degree weather, especially when it's humid. Except it's not humid here, which also probably doesn't help. What are you seeing on the entry list?
I mean, just the amount of classes is the first thing I want to point out here. Not even about the amount of entrants, because I know, I hate to bring up his name, but Quarter Mile Media, of course, said something about it, which I don't know how that guy still has followers. Anyway,
I don't think any of us do. Regardless, I mean, everyone has a journalism or can say what they want, freedom of speech. There's only so many people that can be correct, and there's some that are just dead wrong. And a lot, I do, and I hate to take shots, and I don't want to consider this as shots, but like Wes Buck, amazing person. So I mean, Wes Buck at Drag Illustrated, Drag Champ, that so many of these drag racing news outlets do a really good job at that. Competition Plus, all these people that do really well at this, and kind of like Seth and I, where we're just two guys on a Zoom call doing a podcast as well as racing announcers. We try to be as impartial as possible to all forms of motorsport. Quarter Mile Media has floundered in that category, to say the least.
Yeah,
very controversial. Very
absolutely.
controversial.
Especially when you talk bad to some of our friends. That's not going to get you on a good side at all.
I mean,
so
hey, I like everybody equally. All y'all are cool. If you like things with, if you like things with motors and things that look cool and go fast, or one of the two, you're good. So yeah, it just happens to be one of the people that have in the drag racing community tend to lose respect. And I hate to say it, but it just comes down to that. Looking at what are you looking at on that list? I don't even have it up right
now. So the thing that I did want to point out is that there is, excluding Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock, and Pro Mod, those 4 classes. There are Super Stock, Super Comp, Super Gas, Top Sportsman, Top Dragster.
So no Super Street.
So there's not that many classes.
No.
I mean, you could have thrown in Top Alcohol in there. I mean, of course, sometimes you gotta kind of weigh your options. So you can. We're not experts about how to schedule things. That's not something I do. So of course we don't know, so we can't really speak on it too much. But I think it wouldn't be horrendous if they tried to add topical in there. If anything, I think it'd be a really good idea, considering that they already ran at Phoenix.
Exactly, yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so alrighty, it's time for everyone, I believe's favorite segment, pick time. So of course, we're gonna, with 2 national events, I decided to include IHRA on this too, because like I said, we want to be impartial. We love things that go fast, and it don't matter if you support the brand that's been here forever or green brand that's also making waves in the sport. We like things with motors, and we like things that go fast. So we're supporting both sides, because you can do that in this country.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah.
Weird, right? So for NHRA, of course, with the lack of classes, we have Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock, and Pro Mod. And IHRA, they kind of mix things up in their classes. So Top Fuel, Funny Car, Top Alcohol Dragster, and Top Alcohol Funny Car, those stay. With their Pro Stock stuff, their Mountain Motor Pro Stock is more like the NHRA Pro Stock than the actual Pro Stock that IHRA is doing, which is essentially Factory Stock Showdown, if I looked right. So essentially,
Yeah.
the way that points will work, Top Fuel and Funny Car for both sides work. Pro Stock for NHRA and Mountain Motor Pro Stock for NHRA. This is my favorite. Sleds are essentially the Pro Stock motorcycle of IHRA, and I love sleds. They are really dang cool. Don't take that as a Minnesota guy being Minnesotan. If you have not went to a race and watched snowmobiles go down a drag strip, it's something next to none. I believe, Seth, you experienced that too, up in the
Oh,
up where you're
100%.
at. Yeah.
We have, I believe we technically actually have that runs at our racetrack regularly. We have the sleds that have made the quickest runs for both, I believe, Pro Mod and Pro Stock sleds
hmm
all across the country.
I also wanted to make a pick. I was going to pick one of them, but he had two entries and I didn't know which one was which. So I just picked someone completely different. I will make a note of that when we get to our picks. Pro Mod, Outlaw Pro Mod, and regular Pro Mod. Outlaw Pro Mod has two entries, and I don't know why. I also don't know their designation, so we just went with regular Pro Mod, which has one, a lot more people, and two, looks more normal. And then Top Alcohol Dragster and Top Alcohol Funny Car are combined as well. So there's a lot, and I mean a lot of points on the board. We have not decided how we're going to do the Too Fast, Too Chasey challenge yet. That is to come probably by next episode. Speaking of, let's get into picks because we are 46 minutes into this podcast episode and we're trying to keep it under an hour and a half. So, Seth, Top Fuel, who do you got? NHRA.
Okay, so for the race for the Phoenix make sure I get this right so I don't get it wrong. Factory Motorsports NHRA Arizona Nationals. For the race, I have Doug Coletta as my winner, and my reasoning is that it's going to be hot, but there's no humidity. And if there is one tuner in Top Fuel who I think in any conditions, no matter what, if there could be snow on the racetrack and he could try and make that thing go down. It is Alan Johnson, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
He's like one of the guys that if I had to throw money on for somebody to, no matter what the conditions are, no matter where you are, no matter how hot it is, how humid it is, and there's one guy that like would have the best shot at making a car go down in any situation, it's him.
Mhm.
Just because the experience, championships, the wins, I mean everything. I mean, there's only one crew chief that made the run, and it was Alan. So I mean, if he can do probably anything.
Exactly. Going into my pick for the race, Josh Hart. I think it would be dumb that I don't know why you left that one on the table. That was a bad move. Grubnick, Speedmaster, of course. The Speedmaster car has been the Speedmaster. Josh Hart is finding his footing with JFR. He is definitely going to do really well in Phoenix. And I sure hope I don't jinx him because I really need points. For my Too Fast, Too Chasey pick in Top Fuel, Maddie Gordon, which I really got to stop misspelling her name. I don't know why I keep adding an E at the end. I'm sorry, Maddie. Maddie Gordon in the Too Fast, Too Chasey challenge. The only reason I say that is one, I really think she's going to break through this weekend, and two, I really think she's going to break through this weekend. She's been, she already has more experience on the track than anyone else this week, technically. And I really do think that she's gonna do really well in the Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge. And I also like who you picked.
Yeah, I went with Antron Brown. I was gonna do the double Doug Coletta thing, but I kind of was like, it kind of feels a little bit Bush League. Number one, number two, also Antron Brown. I mean, we saw in testing he was kind of like he wasn't running like the Langdon and Hart numbers, but he was making good solid passes all throughout all throughout testing. So, I think this weekend's gonna be really about who can kind of drive the best, because of course, with how tricky it's gonna be, it's how hot it's gonna be. It's gonna be up to who can pedal it, who can kind of get that mix of slashing the tree down, being able to pedal it. If I had to pick, it'd be between Doug and Antron, and I thought Antron with how he's been running, it doesn't seem like he has that fantastic runs of the Langdon and the Colettas and the Harts. Kind of seems like he's honestly kind of running a little bit slower than I expected him to, but it honestly might be an advantage this weekend that he hasn't found those kind of big numbers yet.
100%. Going into funny car for the race, I have Fast Jack Beckman. The Peak squad has always been really, really good over here at Phoenix, despite a couple issues in 2017. But even despite that, they've been really, really good and really, really consistent at Phoenix. And if Jack Beckman can keep that up, I think we'll see the Peak squad return back to victory lane.
Yeah, any JFR car is always going to have a chance. I mean, we saw that even in Gainesville. I kind of, I thought, maybe Vandergriff will get a round win or maybe get a round win. But I mean, he went to the semis in his first race, and DeJoria went to the final. So I mean, you never know what can happen. It's if it's a JFR car, it's going to do well, more likely than not. So for the race, I chose Austin Prock. That's how confident I am in the comeback happening. I think, the absolute definition of insanity is, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting it to work. And I picked him for Gainesville, and look what happened. But, I think, I kind of was like on the table. I, thought maybe Caps. I thought, maybe J.R. Todd. I was kind of like leaning those two. And then I was like, you know what? It's Jimmy Prock. It's going to be, especially now that they have the motivation to come out to Phoenix and do really well, now that they've seen what can happen when they're kind of like expecting stuff to go their way, they're going to come out to Phoenix and they're going to be mad. They're going to be, excuse my French, they're going to be pissed off. So if there's never been bigger motivation for those guys to act like they were the past couple years, it's now going to be in Phoenix to show, hey, Gainesville was a fluke, and we're going to compete like we have been for the past couple of years, even with this new combination.
Exactly. Going into my Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge, Chad Green defending. I kind of have a mix of defending race champions rather, and people who do good. And apparently I'm just flipping back and forth between the two. Except I'm not, because Pro Stock's different. Chad Green, of course, winner in Gainesville, and has been doing really well. I think he's going to double up in Phoenix. He's been getting a lot more consistent. I really think this is his year to break out a lot more.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. Of course, with the momentum he has now from Gainesville, and he's kind of one of those cars that's like kind of runs closer to like the 390s, kind of runs closer to the midfield to bottom half. But it's kind of one of those cars that can still kind of like a Spencer Hyde, where you can run those big numbers still, but just most of the time just kind of stays in the middle. It just kind of one of those cars that it feels like any given Sunday.
It's more consistent.
Yeah, it's kind of like they go more for consistency rather than wow factor.
Speed. Exactly. Yeah. Going into your Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge, I'm really interested on hearing your reasoning behind this.
I want J.R. Todd. As I said before, I was teetering between him and Caps for a while on who I was going to pick for the race. And because, Austin Prock isn't in the Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge, I couldn't pick him for it. And to be honest, I'm not sure. Obviously, if he had been in the semis, I probably would have picked him for it just because, it's the Procks. But looking at, we had 4 picks to choose from. We had Green, Vandergriff, Todd, and DeJoria. I decided JR because, as I said before, this can be kind of a weekend where you kind of need that reaction time because it's going to be tricky. Because, we've seen before, you remember the Pedal Fest Sonoma where JR Todd comes back late, in that race to win it. Big Pedal Fest, if I remember correctly, he kind of like, he smoked him early, and then I forget who he's facing. It may have even been Jack Beckman, if I remember correctly, or Tommy Johnson. It was a couple of years ago. I don't remember fully, but JR, good on the tree. Kind of like that. I feel like a lot of the powwow of JR and Sean are both good on the tree. Kind of like those. Those are the two Coletta guys that run under that camp that have always been known to be pretty good on the tree. They're, just kind of natural drivers. They, and plus with JR, you have the tuning behind him as well with, Dickie Venables, who, with, of course, all those years with Matt Hagan, he can really kind of like Alan Johnson a little bit, where it kind of seems like he can always run those big numbers and he can always, get the car to go down in situations where other people can't. Kind of like one of those tuners where it's like he has so much experience that just kind of seems silly to not, look at him as a good option to run at a, tricky track.
100%. Now, going into pro stock, we both selected the same driver in terms of between the Too Fast, Too Tasty and our race. We can't select the same driver, period.
Yeah.
But let's go into that. So, Seth, who did you pick for pro stock?
So for both the race and the Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge, I picked Dallas Glenn. My reasoning is, that, reigning world champion, he kind of, I'm sure it's bothering him that he didn't perform at Gainesville like he wanted to, because, Dallas is competitive. He's a really good guy, really, really good guy. But I know when he gets behind the wheel of that race car, straps the helmet on, puts the gloves on, I know he's competitive. He's dominated in bracket racing before, so I know he has that competitive fire under him. So I know when he doesn't do well, it eats at him a little bit. So, it just seems like he's going to be coming into Phoenix with a chip on his shoulder to kind of bring back that, performance he had last year, both, with the car and himself. It kind of seems like he, didn't go as many rounds as I expected him to last weekend. He kind of just ran into, Matt Hartford in the semifinals. He didn't do horrible. I'll be honest. Like, I'm not kind of remembering again how Gainesville went for him, but he went to the semifinals. You come up short to Matt Hartford. Kind of you don't really hear Matt's name in the semis a lot anymore. Very good car. Any KB Titan car is gonna be good, but kind of when you think of those two guys, especially in the past couple of years, you're thinking Dallas is gonna win that race. He's gonna go to the final. So I know, he wants to go into Phoenix and compete like he has past couple of years, and he's a world champion. He now is a world champion after last season, so we know he can win.
100%. Going into my pick, both Too Fast, Too Tasty and the main race, I'm so glad. Thank you for leaving this pick open. My hometown hero, Greg Anderson, of course, the runner-up in Gainesville, made a really good run before he fell short to Matt Hartford. Greg is going to come back. Greg has a know-it-all to come back. Greg has the performance to come back. It's just a matter of apparently not facing Matt Hartford. And, I'll say it now and I'll say it again. Greg Anderson is one of the best pro stock racers out there behind Warren Johnson. And arguably Jason Lyne, but then again, they kind of battled for a couple of years. Regardless, with those two battling it out for so many years together, they kind of had their own little rivalry going on where they both got to better themselves. And with Jason Lyne now being into the engine building side of things, for a lot of the racers instead, not just KB Titan, not just Elite Motorsports, he builds it for pretty much anyone. And Greg Anderson still being in the sport, I think Greg is going to take his years of knowledge and put him to the Arizona Nationals. Now going to Pro Mod. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Derek Menholt back in the seat at the Factory Motor Parts NHRA Arizona Nationals. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Derek Menholt going all the way.
Yeah, and I didn't pick him last week, but I kind of was rooting for him a little bit because I wanted him to beat Menholt last week so that Menholt wouldn't get the victory points. But obviously that didn't happen. I'm picking Lyle Barnett. Last weekend or last race in Gainesville, he went to the final round, came up a little bit short, turned it red in the final. And I think that car is going to be good again. I think he's going to be right where he needs to be behind the wheel. I think if they went to the final at Gainesville, what can they do at Phoenix? You never know. It's just kind of, I felt confident picking in Lyle this week after what he did in Gainesville, and I was gonna pick. I thought about maybe picking someone else. I remember, I believe my other pick was going to be, if I can look back at the list here. Cue the Jeopardy music again.
Can't. It's copyrighted.
Oh, that's true. We can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. I don't want to get sued.
Of course, I click on Pro Stock on accident first. I was gonna pick Stavrinos or Banica. I almost went Gray again, but I kind of just decided to go against
And hey,
picking
Billy
Gray.
Banica and Lyle Barnett are teamed up. Remember that.
Yeah.
So they have very similar combinations. So either one of the two could go really far.
But yeah, I chose Lyle Barnett just because, great driver. Literally came up in the final just a little bit short because he turned it red.
Mhm.
So, I just felt confident. Plain and simple, I felt confident picking him again, or picking him for the first time and hoping he goes to the final again.
100%. Alrighty, we are exactly 1 hour and 1 minute ish. I think I got 5 seconds before or into this podcast, and we are finally done with the NHRA picks. Now we get to do it all over again with a little bit more. So going into top fuel for the IHRA Benson Nationals, I believe it is. I have no clue what they're calling it. At Dorana Motorsports Park. Top fuel. I have Gary Pritchett. Now, Gary ran last weekend, or it would have been 2 weekends ago now, at the Gator Nationals. And although he didn't go as far as I'd hoped, a little bit. I mean, I was hoping my drivers always obviously went far, and they did. But I hoped Gary was going to go just a little bit farther. I think Gary's going to break through and definitely go some spots here in the 8th mile side of the world.
Yeah, looking at the entry list here, I kind of made, I'm not gonna lie, I made my picks like a couple hours ago, just because I kind of forgot to on Wednesday night when it was really late. So I kind of made my picks, and I was looking through the entry list, and it was kind of a difficult decision for me.
Really, it was.
In a way, you gotta think about it, right? It's kind of interesting because you think, I know my pick, which by the way, I'll say it right now, I picked Jasmine Salinas just because you think of that car, you think of that driver. Last year, early on in the year, before they kind of ran out of funding, she was a contender. She was going rounds like every single weekend. She was always in the mix, semifinals.
I was also thinking about picking her a little bit earlier, and then I'm like, but she's been out of the seat for a little bit, and I really do hope she does really well. I do hope these two meet in the final, but if I didn't pick Gary Pritchett, I would have picked Jasmine Salinas. Jasmine is one of the drivers that unfortunately doesn't run the full schedule, but when she can, she does real good.
Yeah.
So I genuinely think that was a really good pick on your half. Now for Funny Car, this is a name that I haven't seen in a while, and am I shocked that he went to IHRA? Not really, but at the same time, I'm really glad I see the name back in the sport. Now, unfortunately, Mama won't be back. Is Mama still backing her up, or is it girlfriend now? Either way, Bobby Bodie is back in the seat of the RB Machines Zorba's Funny Car. I keep forgetting they're sponsored by Zorba's, which, if you guys have never been to Minnesota and you guys come up to a Minnesota lake, I believe this one on Gull Lake in Brainerd, go to a Zorba's, go order a pizza, and have the best pizza of your life. And maybe some cold ones, depending if you partake in the true Midwest tradition of being a Midwesterner and having nothing else to do. Take that as you will. But Bobby Bodie coming back to the Funny Car scene, and I really think he's going to do really well.
Yeah, I kind of looked at that pick, and I was like, that's a really good pick. With Bobby, last year he ran the IHRA, went to the final round. I believe it was in North Carolina. If I remember correctly, he ran at least one event in the IHRA last year, and actually went to the final round and lost to my pick, which is Del Worsham.
Yeah, I kind of left the door wide open for you.
Yeah, I said before people, obviously it was before the recording. I kind of when we went on a little call before the call,
as we always do, and
yeah,
and he said, and I quote, you left the door open for me here. I'm like, I kind of did, not intentionally, but at the same time, I feel bad because I stole everything in Gainesville. So I
Yeah.
wanted to also leave it a little bit better, but I also do think my picks are going to go pretty far. Of course, Del Worsham having his own funny car crew, also helped tune Alexis to some wins or to some good rounds anyway in the Bandera car a couple years ago. So I think Del is going to do really well, especially being back in the seat of a funny car.
Yeah, I
Since
mean, he did really well in the IHRA last season. I mean, as I
Mhm.
said before, went to multiple final rounds, multiple wins, I believe. He was a fixture in the late rounds in funny car last year at the IHRA races. I mean, of course, with the DC Motorsports Toyota Supra, that car really, really good. Also sponsored by Henninger Performance, I believe.
Mhm.
Uh, very good car last season. Final rounds up the wazoo. So I mean, it would not surprise me if he went out to North Carolina and won again.
Yeah,
So
I'm now realizing how grave of a mistake I made. Um, Oopsies. Anyways, Mountain Motor Pro Stock. This is one of the drivers that kind of goes back and forth between NHRA and IHRA when it comes to Mountain Motor Pro Stock. And it don't matter, he good at both of them. Also sponsored by Amsoil for a while, another company stupid local to me. I mean, I go into town and they're based right there. So Amsoil, of course, being based in Superior, Wisconsin. Um, I kind of I mean, and also being a part of one of the best Mountain Motor Pro stock operations, I had to go with Johnny DeFlorian. Johnny has been crazy when it comes to Mountain Motor Pro stock, and I'm so glad that he is back here for sure. Of course, the reigning Brainerd champion in Mountain Motor Pro stock. I believe he's a reigning world champion in Mountain Motor Pro stock on the NHRA side of things. So he knows how to run big cubic inches.
oh yeah, I mean that car. Still, it's actually a video. I believe it's probably on Instagram Reels as well, but it's also on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok of his win at Norwalk, of where they walk over to him. They're holding the trophy. He says, "Are you here for me?" And he just goes nuts in the car. I mean, just starts like literally just like was like, "Whoa, yeah!" Like he just went
He's
absolutely ballistic.
he's
He's one
always
of the
had.
best personalities.
Yeah, he is. There's a few. There's hello English. There's a few solid people that I look to when it comes to drag racing and personality both, and three of them we've picked at least before and or now in drag racing. That's Matty Gordon, soon to be Daniel Wilkerson. We kind of been missing him, but Danny Wilkerson, Terry Haddock, and of course Johnny DeFlorian. Just the most happy, happy guys, and the most. They're outgoing. They're really happy at what they're doing, and they make a really good run. And they're just ecstatic. Period. They win and they party like there's no tomorrow. So they're those are the type of people that we love to see in the sport. And we'd love to see more of them.
Yeah, I did check it, and John DeFlorian is in fact the reigning world champion in the
Hey,
NHRA.
my brain
For
worked for once.
there you go.
Hey, we're doing things. Yeah, sometimes my brain cells at what is it, 9:30 at night, after a long day of school and then working. Sometimes the brain cells aren't all the way there, and
Yeah.
by that I mean I'm my. Sometimes I get information right, and sometimes I don't. But hey, we got it right this time. Going into sleds for the first time. I love them things. They're so cool. Mitchell Moeller in the Bandit Mobile. The Moeller family, of course, having three different. Yeah.
Did we skip over my pick in Mount Motor?
Ah, shoot, we did.
So
Sorry,
this was another one.
rookie mistake.
So this was another one where I mean, obviously John DeFlorian, great competitor, great car. I thought you kind of left the door a little bit open for another great pick. I picked Chris Powers.
That's a good
Chris
pick.
Powers won at New England last year, my home track, won the NHRA New England Nationals. Also, in the IHRA last year, I believe he won in North Carolina as well. So I mean, a great car is known to win at that track. I think it's not crazy to say that he's probably one of the better cars in the field alongside
No.
DeFlorian, alongside Placino. Those cars are always going to be, the top of the field. I feel confident saying that I think Powers, if he lines up against the Florida in your pick in the final round, he could turn on that win light.
Yeah, if I can let you say your pick. My bad. Hey, we're still in the growing pains. We're not even a month into this thing yet.
Yeah.
Going into sleds, like I said, Mitchell Muller and the Muller family. Mitchell, of course, being the rider, if you will, of the Bandit Mobile. Of course, they have a pink and teal machine. They also have a red, white, and black machine as well. So they are no stranger to this sport, as well as a DOA guys. And I would have picked one of the Nisons or Yummy, Jason Posness. But them two strokes, they're really they're a lot harder to get under control of. And then you have all these four stroke turbo combinations, and they're fast, to say the least. Mitchell Muller being the pilot of one of them in the Bandit Mobile. So, and like I said, we both kind of left one out. Louis Werble has two sleds, Iceman and Snowman. Snowman tends to be the better one, but he didn't put which one was which, and he only put the number on there. And it's like, oh no, I know which one's gonna win, but I don't know which one's gonna win. So I picked Mitchell Moeller rather, as well as, or also basing it off of their tow vehicle is a Camaro painted like the Bandit. It's really darn cool to watch. So, Mollers, hope to see you guys soon. Go do some good stuff down in Benson.
Yeah, I picked Rob Lowe. No, not the actor, the sled rider. I picked him because, quite honestly, I looked at the results from last year at North Carolina, and he seemed to be qualifying really well. I believe he did really well in the race as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of seemed like I don't know as much about the sleds that go to IHRA as Gabe does. So I kind of just went, okay, he seemed like he qualified well.
Let's
I'll
go
choose
for
him.
it. So the irony is, a lot of the guys that went down there and kind of around there all race up here for like an independent series that they do, and they also run the Brainerd National event. So and they also did MPK stuff for a while when MPK was still going around. So they've been around the block a lot. The only reason I know them is because they also race at my local bracket series, and they test their pro mod sleds. They have bracket sleds, all of them do. So I tend to just know them, and they also sponsor our bike sled class. Yes, it's bike and sled combined bracket racing at our points deal. So
We also have that.
yeah. So it's something that I know them really well, and I might have the upper hand on this class. I'm so sorry, Seth, but
Probably.
I'll get a
I just
couple
didn't
more
know.
points. Yeah, like I need more points. Anyways, going into pro mod, regular pro mod, if you will. Unfortunately, Chevy did wad this car up. I believe it was in a testing lap in later this past season. But the car's back. He's back. And I'm really excited to see what Yeti Chevy Reeves can do in that blue Yeti machine. Of course, Chevy Reeves, another bracket racer friend of ours from up north. I also have another pick from up north, but I'll come into that later. And Yeti Chevy Reeves isn't called Yeti, but I think that's a good nickname for him. Yeti Chevy Reeves works kind of good. And of course, the Yeti, one of the coolest kind of stock-ish wheelbase cars that I've seen in a while. So I believe that Chevelle is definitely going to go rounds down there at Benson.
Yeah, I kind of same thing as the sleds, to be quite honest with you. I went with Randy Weatherford. He qualified well last year. I believe I do remember seeing a Facebook or Instagram clip of him first round. He like smoked the tires or exploded something, and he just didn't move on because of that. So kind of going off of that, I was like, same thing with Rob Lowe. It was like, okay, qualified well last year. I'll pick him. I just quite honestly, I didn't know enough about it to really try and go more in depth about it. So I kind of just went, okay, qualified well. I'll pick him. It's kind of just it was kind of unfortunate.
Kind of see what
Yeah,
happens. I mean,
yeah.
unfortunately, we don't really know. You don't know Randy Weatherford? I've heard that name thrown around a lot.
That's kind of also part of the reason why I picked him is just because it sounds very very, very familiar.
We just can't pinpoint it.
Yeah.
And I also think that Pro Mod, at least in this sense, is going to be very similar to like the big tire NPK stuff, if I'm correct. And they have a small tire Brat series, which is kind of like Little Gangsters, if you guys are familiar with that. And then their Outlaw Pro Mod is more their true Pro Mod class. But you know, we can do stock wheelbase stuff. That seems like fun. Going into Top Alcohol Dragster. This is a pick that I love this guy. I've known this guy for several years. I've known him in his top dragster days. He's a good buddy of mine. Just picked up a new dragster that he's putting a 540 blown Chevrolet engine to run super competent and go 190 because, yeah, owns one of the best electrical companies you can have in Ontario, Canada. My buddy, Daniel Fuelling in the Bull. The Bull, of course, Cliff Back's car, runs Top Alcohol in the D5 circuit, runs the Funny Car Chaos events, and one of the better cars, one of the more innovative cars too, with their triple or their triple stack, I'm going to call it, their triple stack scoop that's just directly in there to remove some of the turbulence that goes into the engine. I think they're going to dial this car in and do really well down in Benson. I saw some of the names that they were facing, and it's like, it's going to be tough. But I know Cliff, I know Daniel, I know all the crew down there. I think they're going to go some rounds for sure. I'm really shocked they didn't put the triple hat or the regular, like the top fuel hat without the blades. 'Cause they have that for the funny car events, and they said that does a lot better for those events due to just it being 8th mile. But I think they're trying to dial in this combination more, and I think they're definitely going to see that for sure. And then maybe I'll switch it throughout the weekend. We'll see. But the Bull and Daniel Fuelling going to go some rounds for sure.
Yeah, my pick was Jackie Frick. Now, I kind of had a tough time picking. I mean, I had some time to do it. I checked, through the list. You got Fuelling, you got Frick, Chatterson, Severance, Kondratic, Megan Smith, who, by the way, I think I may have pointed it out one of the last couple episodes, probably for Gainesville, was, she almost ran a national or actually national mile per hour record at New England like a year or two ago. So it's like that car is capable of high speeds. Like it is like that car, which by the way, her dad, John Smith, upset last weekend or 2 weekends ago at Gainesville. That car is a good car. Rachel Curl, Rich McPhillips, Ryan Harris, William Ferg. I mean, all these drivers on all these cars are good. Like, I would say probably within these, there is like no ducks on the pond at all.
No, never. It's going to be really hard for sure. And Jackie Frick was a really, really good pick, honestly.
Yeah. Plus, I know her personally, so I was like, okay, I'll pick her. It was either.
So ironically, we both picked people we know personally. Wow, that worked. Yeah. Yours just happens to run that class a lot more. Daniel, of course, being more on the top dragster side, but he knows how to pilot a top alcohol car for sure. Going into the top alcohol funny car, I saw the names in there, and I still willingly did this. Mick Steele, Mr. Where Did He Come From? Welcome to the show, buddy. Mick Steele, you have been called up to the big leagues. You are my main pick for top alcohol funny car. Stole the number 1 spot from Sean Bellemere. And I mean, like, no one had him on the radar, really. And all of a sudden, whoop, hello, this is mine now. So, Mick Steele, I think they're getting that fuel-injected machine finally figured out. I really, really think the fuel-injected car is going to go rounds here at the IHRA Benson Nationals.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that may have possibly been. I mean, this category is just so tough to look through because like all these cars, I feel like could make great runs. But I mean, Mick Steele coming off the number 1 qualifier at Gainesville, that car very, very good. Honestly, I think that probably was the best pick. It's tough to choose, but it's probably the best pick. But my pick could arguably be the best pick. I just don't know what vehicle he's in. I don't know which car he's in. If he's in the car I think he's in, then he's got a shot at being the best, what would be the best shark in the water, I guess you could say. I picked DJ Cox. that car, if he's in the DXI car that he's ran in years prior, I think he could be really good this weekend.
Mhm.
I mean, national event winner in the past in the NHRA, at least regional, if not national event wins. I mean, I think he's got a shot.
Yeah, 100%. Now, before we wrap this up, I did receive some very, very sad news this morning, and I do. We've had some actually very sad news in the drag racing community as of late. Of course, the Pro Fuel accident. I believe down in XRP, where we lost a Pro Fuel racer. I believe. I got to get the name right again. I'm sorry. I'm pulling up Drag Illustrated because I believe Wes Buck put out something on that. This was completely unplanned, mind you. I'm kind of hijacking this. Sorry, guys. There it is. Wow, he added a lot of stories as of late. Haley Kalk, unfortunately lost her life while trying to while testing an Nitro Funny bike in Texas. She was a very, very kind racer, as a lot of people reported, and she will be deeply missed in the drag racing community and in the Pro Fuel bike community for sure. As well as, if you guys have tuned into Motor Mania and any of the live streams really in drag racing on YouTube, the Mod Father, the OG Barn, unfortunately lost his life due to complications of pneumonia. Barney Kinsey was his true name, and all of us are already mourning him in the chat bleachers. We already miss him dearly. IHRA had their first live stream of the year, and everyone was just saying rest in peace the Mod Father and Barn, and saying some really nice stuff about him. And I just heard by Gate Crash, regardless, said some really, really amazing stuff with about him, and a lot of us are very, very sad that we lost one of our own, and we hope both of you two are doing a lot better upstairs and are looking down on us for sure.
I mean, obviously, it's always going to be difficult when we lose any member of the drag racing community or the racing community as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Any sport, it's rough.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to deal with and to come to terms with, and I mean, it hurts. It
mm-hmm.
really does.
It really does. And that being said, I'm going to officially honor this episode. I know it's very, 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 very little that I can do, but this will be dedicated to Barn, the Mod Father, and Haley Kolk. This one's for you guys. Thank you guys for at least enjoying your time with us drag racers, and Barn for dealing with a lot of our tomfoolery in the chats for sure. He was one of them that didn't really put up with much, but he was one of the nicer folk for sure, and we will deeply miss you guys. Sorry to end the episode on such a sad note, but I really thought that we should have done something for that for sure.
It only feels right to do something for them. It's, I mean,
really,
as you said, it's the least we can do.
It's the least we can do for sure. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that'll conclude episode 3 of the Mike to the Stripe podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening and or watching. Subscribe on YouTube, follow the socials on Facebook, follow our Spotify podcast, and share it with everyone. We're trying our best to make this something that we can do every week, and this is just something we're doing for fun, and I'm so glad that we can share this with you guys. So ladies and gentlemen, that'll conclude this episode. Like, subscribe, and follow if you're on Spotify. Follow if you want to see more. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks for stopping by. Take care.
Bye-bye.